Hey, yeah, I'm stuck in traffic and I thought I would just do something about it. I'm just going to town for a meeting. It's one of my advisory meetings, and in my head, I'm having so many things. I've had quite a day, but it's more relaxing than yesterday. I'm just looking at my life right now, and I thank God for everything. But there's just so much on my plate, and I'm not complaining. I love it like that. I work as a lecturer, assistant lecturer to be exact, and it can be hectic with seasons. There's a time when it's peak, and there's a time when it's like low season where you just do lectures, and then there's a time where you have to do the marking and things like that. So it's like up and down, like that. And then I've got a social enterprise, my Mimi ni Nani, my baby. So I was just looking at it and thinking about it, and I'm like, this is my first baby, and it's a whole organization on its own. It needs so much caring, nurturing and developing. Oops, we're moving. Um, okay, so good. So it needs a lot of nurturing and things like that. And then I'm applying for something else. It's a consultancy project, of which is gonna be like a month long, and it's a whole thing on its own. But I'm really passionate and interested about it because it's about an agricultural project. It's a value chain on a crop. It's a soybean, and so looking at how the sector can be developed and ensure productivity, but also to ensure the people that are involved. It's for proper growth. So especially the women and youth who are involved in the sector, how they can benefit and grow in terms of like economically through the sector, and looking at the value chains from the primary producers all the way to marketing and distributors and things like that. So I'm really interested because like the processing of the soybean and all that, the value addition and all the way until it reaches the market. And then at this one we're looking at the local market where not the consumers in terms of the ones that feed, but it's on the animal feed. So how soybean can be produced, processed to meet that demand for animal feed. So okay, and there is family. I've got a niece, I've got a nephew, I've got my mom, my dad, and my siblings, and so much. And so I it's sometimes very challenging dividing my time across all those issues. And there's some which I've not mentioned. I've got church and everything. It's so demanding, and so balancing is key. I've got my health, I've got my hair, I need to look after, I need to my body, my health, and I have to rest and things like that. And at this moment it's very, it can be sometimes a bit stressing because you have deadlines to meet and things like that. But so in the whole mix of being nervous and anxious and I don't know, but sometimes it can be really hectic. And wow, is that the president? Okay, I just saw a car by like the government car with the what is this, a flag, and it's written JM John Magufuli, but no, but states car different anyways. Okay, so what I'm saying is it's a lot of pressure sometimes, and it's really busy. But in the midst of that, I really seek to find my peace, to find my order, because you need to keep flowing with ideas, new ideas. Your mind needs to create and create things differently. When you look at your social enterprise, and I look at my Mimi ni Nani, it's a leadership development program where I have to really think on how I can innovate, come up with new ideas, doing things differently to make it the best organization. I'm looking at it as the best, as the leadership program, the leadership development program in Africa that really invests in youth and children of Tanzania and Africa in general, and so it needs a whole process of being creative and innovative to come up with new interesting ideas. And then I look at my career in terms of teaching. How do I really come up with innovative ways of teaching? Like, looking at the performance from one semester to another, there are all these things that you note from how your students perform. Like right now, I've realized that my students are not really, they don't study, they don't read books, so it's really discouraging for me, because when I do a lecture, I'm really interested in them doing well, and I do my best to provide for them the necessary materials and ideas, and I prompt them to do research, to study. But when it comes to how they do the exams, you see that they don't dig deep. They just, like, they only reach at the surface. Where you reach, that is as far as they will go. And that is really disappointing for me, because I want them to be innovative, for them to be different, and so if they just come with the way that I delivered, or even much less, then that is quite discouraging. So I'm now thinking of this semester. We've just started this week. We've opened the university for the second semester, so I'll be having 2 classes. The third year were the finalists. I'm teaching industrial economics, and then there is a first year who doing it's a building economics course, but I'm teaching, I'll be now doing macroeconomics. I did microeconomics in the first semester, so I'm looking at how I can do it differently, how I can engage them more, because if they don't like to study, to read books, then I have to find an interesting way for them to read. I propose for them to look at YouTube, to look at to look at things that maybe can help them understand the difficult concepts much easier. But I'm not seeing that working. Perhaps I have not done any enforcement, so I'm looking at how I can do more of enforcement, like for us to have seminars, more discussions, and maybe for me to present the things differently. So giving them assignments that are more real, to applicable, maybe giving them assignments for them to look at what is real in terms of African economy or Tanzanian economy, and not just being a very general. So I could give them assignments to maybe, instead of using World Bank data, then they can use Bank of Tanzanian data, maybe to look at inflation in terms of Tanzania, comparing it to, I don't know, but things like that. So I'm thinking of how we can do things differently. So I have to shift my mind from that angle to that angle. When I think about my family, I think about my life, I think about my personal development. By the way, I want to write 2 books this year. There's a book that I started writing last year, but I never finished it to the end. Don't ask me why. It's just because of lack of time. I don't know, maybe it's just an excuse, but I think the delay is good, because I learn new things that I get to improve on the book. But also there's another book. It's going to be, so that one is it's more about personal development, the other book. And this one I just started. It's a devotional one, where I'll be sharing something that one can read on a daily basis. So, and on just one book, based on one book from the Bible. So it's going to be like a whole year devotional. So it's going to like 365 days. So you get a daily dose for you. So I'm really excited. I'm still receiving some interesting enlightenment and ideas. So when I'm really settled, and I go through things and the Word of God and things like that, when I pray. And so I hope all these things, they get to bear results, as in terms of fruits. I get to see the outcome of it in terms of the impact that all this is making in my life and the lives of others. Because it's that's what life is all about. And so that is it. So it's exciting, but sometimes I tell you, it can be really, really stressing. It can be really stressing, because you could miss out a lot of things from people. Sometimes people don't understand because it really can't be everywhere every time. So you really have to prioritize. Sometimes you have to leave your friends and maybe you don't hang out much. I don't have weekends or anything like that. For me, it's just a work day. I follow my energy wherever it takes me. So if my energy is high during weekends, I work on weekends. If it's high during 2 a.m., I work at 2 a.m. So I have random schedules, but I really try to communicate all that with my people, my sphere of influence, and circle of influence. I don't know what that is, but I'm in my circle, my people, and so I hope they understand. But I'm also working on how I can really get some support in terms of having a team or people that really can work with me in terms of coordination and things like that, like providing me with support, because sometimes I have a lot of imagination, a lot of ideas, but when it comes to execution, then I can't be everywhere. So when I get people that I can delegate to, then that's much easier. So, well, I gotta go. I think we're moving quite fast now, and I need to make a call to my mentor and tell him that I'm almost there. Yeah, so bye bye. It was nice talking to ya. Till we meet again, talking on anything else. Be blessed. Bye bye.